Hello and welcome to Business Matters, the show about people behind businesses that help make Tacoma a great place to live and work. I'm your host, Mike Work. On this episode, it's a new Tacoma grocery store featuring the Taste of India in the business spotlight. Andrew Fry says there are costs for social media for your business. And today, my guest is Eric Black, who's the owner of Blacksmith HR Consulting. Welcome, Eric.
Thank you.
So you actually do a lot to make Tacoma a better place to work, I would think, Tacoma, the greater Tacoma, because in the HR business, you're helping employers make their businesses and whatever better places to work.
Yeah, that's the goal. It's helping businesses succeed in the human capital arena and helping kind of maximize what they're getting out of their employees.
So a lot of people probably think that HR is an office you go to and it's a full-time employee that's on the staff. But in today's world, that's not always a reasonable use of funding if you can have a consultant that can come in and provide that expertise. Is that the idea behind the services you offer?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's employers, especially those who have maybe between 20 and 100 employees. It doesn't always pencil out for them to have a full-time professional on staff, but to have an available professional when needed is often a better solution for business owners.
Especially for the high-level expertise, sort of executive level. You want to talk about that sort of level that you come in and the sort of services that you offer? Because you could have a bookkeeper doing a lot of those things, or a mid-level HR professional who's not as expensive.
Right.
But there's also where does your expertise most useful?
Yeah, and like you said, companies of the size that I work with, typically HR has been relegated to or delegated to like you said, payroll or a bookkeeper, but that's not their expertise or their interest. Where I come in, I think add value is at the level of kind of the 20,000-foot view. Strategically, what is it that we want to accomplish? How do we want to develop our culture? How do we want people to see us as a company culture?
And your employees, how do the employees see you?
Right, exactly. We want to be an employer of choice. So how do we put together a benefits package and compensation and just a company culture? Have we put thought into how we want people to view us, how our employees view us and themselves as part of our team?
But also from a manager perspective, you're helping employees be more effective through things like training and development programs, mentoring new managers.
That's right. Yeah, I think my clients have a lot of passion about the things that they do, what they're building, what they're making, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are trained in how to manage people, and it is often somewhat mysterious, especially to someone getting into the business, how we can take somebody who has been a competent employee and make them a competent manager, or how do we locate competent managers and put them in place and help them succeed.
And then companies have certain kinds of tasks and responsibilities for their employees. Do you develop training programs specifically for those kinds of things?
My focus on training is helping employers identify those things that they need people to be competent in, either technical skills or people skills, and just really getting those things in place that are needed, the benchmarks, the deliverables, so that the businesses, that they know that their employees are getting up to speed on all those things.
And that probably comes back to evaluation too, because if you have the benchmarks, you tie them into an evaluation system over time. Is that part of what you offer?
Yes, exactly. I have, I've been in the business for about 20 years, and I've always struggled until recently with having a solid employee feedback annual review or what have you, so that employee development program. Recently, I've been involved with implementing a system that really, from my experience, is the most effective, a highly effective system in helping people deliver on production and productivity and hit the goals, not just of what they are making, but how they're doing the culture goals. Not just what we do, but how we do it.
And so it opens that line of communication so employees know what's expected of them clearly.
Exactly.
And the employer or the supervisor knows how to communicate effectively with the employee so that you get that system going so everyone understands what they're
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Yeah, they're getting the clarity on what is it we're asking them to do, how that they know how to be successful in the company, what the culture things and what the deliverables are.
So that's one example of the kinds of expertise you offer. But I would think having been a consultant as long as you have and being in HR as long as you have, you bring a whole range of experience. So you plug in a very high-level expert to bring a new perspective into a business. So that probably falls under your executive level advice and counsel. When I hire you to help me figure out how to better manage my 100-person business, what do you usually do? What do you assess? How does that all work?
Right. The initial consultation is to kind of gather information about what the culture is now. What are the things that are challenging you as a business owner, as an employer? Where are your challenges? What are your the circumstances? And what are your goals? What do you want this place to be? What do you want, when you look at 5 years in the future, how do you see this business? What would your, how can I, and I come in to help kind of make sure that you're fully utilizing your human capital and that we're doing what we can to make sure that, employee engagement and clarity, understanding, and success is a part of the expectation.
So I'd imagine that most business owners think they're pretty good at this and that they know this stuff. I would imagine when you come in and take a look at it and do your assessment and talk to them for a while, you sometimes come up with suggestions that surprise them. Is that what are some of the common areas that you end up focusing attention on that maybe they didn't expect?
Yeah, I think, my experience is that business owners are often open to my feedback, and I do have areas that I might shine a light on that they weren't necessarily looking at, but I think it's not necessarily that they didn't expect it, but there's such a vast array of employment laws, and it's really my job is to give them kind of an array of options and let them know what the risk assessments is, of different paths forward, and just help them make an informed decision about how we get to where we want to be.
Where the risks are, how to deal with them,
Exactly.
how to improve performance. But risk is a big part of that. You don't have to go to an attorney to determine that.
Right, exactly. I think there's one of the values that I have as, again, an HR professional is I can give you an informed kind of view of what the risks are, but I don't have to. I'm not charging you an attorney's fee. So,
how did you make the transition into being your own consulting business?
I had a client who also was using a consultant for a CFO, and that person came to me and said that there was an opportunity. He had as an associate that was another HR consultant, and was interested in getting out of that, and wanted to know if I was interested in that book of business.
Oh, interesting. So you had a book of business going in. It doesn't.
So that actually didn't end up.
Okay.
As soon as that became an opportunity, or as soon as I started thinking about that, I knew that's what I wanted. I wanted to go out on my own.
Yeah.
So that actually, that book of business, it's not something that worked out. But I have I have had a good fortune of a lot of HR professionals in a network, and I've got referrals right off the bat. Actually, before I was officially ready to go out on my own, I had started getting referrals to.
Because you're known in the business,
so
through
the
your
business
networks.
was, yeah. So I was again. I want to thank all the friends that I have who've done a great job and a lot of help in setting up this opportunity for me. So it was definitely a group effort.
So what finally made you decide to go out on your own? You saw that you wanted to do it, but at some point you had to say, well, I'm going to stop this and begin this new business.
I was, as soon as I started, I realized that that's what I wanted. I started taking steps to make it a reality. because I was already working as a as a consultant, HR consultant for a larger firm,
Okay.
I gave them notice, and I had a non-compete, so I had to walk away from clients that I had previously been associated with
Sure.
for a year for the period of the non-compete. But after that was over, they have all requested that I come back. So actually, after the non-compete was over, I retained all of those clients.
Oh, that's fabulous. So you knew you had a skill that was valued.
Yeah, I felt that I was really, doing a good service and creating value for clients, and I've always been committed to that. And I've checked in with clients about making sure that they feel that they're getting value for the money, and I have had very good. Like I said, I've been very lucky about having some great clients and a lot of generous associates, and have. The business is there. There's absolutely no end of need.
Yes.
But like you're saying, I think you're right. The assessment of a lot of employers, especially smaller employers, is that, we've got this handled. We're not going to worry about it. And the fact is, you don't know what you don't know. So a lot of times they'll get burned with something because they are blindsided with something, and then they'll start thinking, well, there must be somebody out there who can help me with this.
So it's good to know who that is.
Yeah.
At least that field is out there. I think it's also interesting from the perspective of people who are doing work that they think is only institutional or business related. They don't see the consulting field out there. There's probably other professions that do this as well, as you said, the CFO or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's an inspiration.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities, I think, for people who want to, again, add value, but do that more independently and not have it be as an employee-employer relationship. There's a lot of there's certainly a lot of more freedom as a consultant, and I really enjoy the work and the relationships, and coming in as somebody who can really help solve problems.
Yeah, and it keeps the challenge of variety for you. It sounds like a lot of fun.
Exactly, it is.
Yeah, that's great. It's been fascinating learning about your business and about human resource consulting. Thank you for being our guest today.
Having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, Eric, that's it for this segment. Coming up next is Tacoma Means Business, and the topic is the cost of social media. Social media is a tool used by large and small businesses to get messages to consumers. In this segment of Tacoma Means Business, Andrew Fry emphasizes the cost factor for effective online social media.
Have you ever visited a website, a web page, and they had events, calendars, press, that sort of thing, and then you've looked in the press area to see what's the latest news article that's been printed, and it's 2 years old? Have you ever gone to an events page and they talk about the next event coming up and it was 3 years ago? What is the impression that you've just been left with in that regards to that company? Probably that it may be out of business, or perhaps struggling. Now that's an old problem that's been had with websites for some time, the idea that you need to keep it updated. Well, what's happening right now is that there seems to be this maxim for a lot of folks that are starting their companies up and trying to get them better known, and that is that social media is free. Of course I can promote my company. I'm just going to go ahead and have a Facebook page and a Twitter page and some Instagram photos, and I'm going to go ahead and promote my company via these various tools. The thing is, social media is not free. It may be free to post something, but it's going to cost you to keep that relationship going. Think about social media, and your marketing tool is a conversation that you better be comfortable having on an ongoing basis for the life of your company. Now, there's a lot of different ways to do that. There are certain things that, say, people who write magazine articles do. They'll write a number of articles before they actually publish some of them so that they have this backlog. And if they ever have to take an extended vacation or visit, they have those available to them. The thing with it is, if you're going to do a blog, if you're going to do Facebook, if you're going to do Twitter, if you're going to do Instagram, you need to be able to plan for what is going to be posted and do so ahead of time. There are ways that you can do that. Number one, don't overtax yourself. Make certain that you have the pacing that you can keep. If you're going to post once a week, fantastic. Post once a week and keep posting once a week. If you're going to post 8 times a day, think about the energy and money you're going to expend by having to post 8 times a day. So pace yourself, figure out what you're going to do. Next is budget your time. How much time can you put in? If you could do 8 posts in a day because you can think of 8 things off the top of your head and you're just going to go ahead and put them in at various times of the day, fantastic. Some people batch their posts. It's like, hey, coming up right now to get your attention, I'm going to be posting 5 things, the 5-thing rule. Right? So you could do that as well, right? Budget your time. And then the third thing I'm going to recommend is, budget for your social media. If you have to, hire someone to help you get it out there to touch base. Be ready and spread the work around so that you have multiple people who are able to post. And of course, then you have to keep the editorial controls over that as well to make certain that the message that's coming out there is a similar message. Or if in fact you have multiple people posting, give them distinct personalities in terms of their posts so that you're hitting them from different sides and levels, and you've got the kind of diversity in the statements that follow along the same theme to help get your message out there. But the most important thing is to remember that social media is not free.
Thanks, Andrew. For more ways on helping grow your business, check out Tacoma's Community and Economic Development Program at tacomameansbusiness.com. When Business Matters returns, we visit a 6th Avenue business that's packed with exotic foods and spices in the spotlight. Today in the Spotlight, we'll explore the flavors of India on Tacoma's 6th Avenue with Bombay Bazaar.
Hi, I'm Ziggy, and this is Bombay Bazaar Tacoma.
Bombay Bazaar is a brand new business just off 6th Avenue in Tacoma. The store's business plan features an exotic selection of Indian foods and grocery items.
At Bombay Bazaar, we sell a wide variety of Indian grocery items and spices. We have dry goods, frozen goods, and refrigerated goods. So, we sell pretty much anything you would need to make a great Indian dish.
Ziggy says distribution is the key to Bombay Bazaar's grocery selection. Food products are featured from distributors throughout the region. Grocery items range from frozen foods to bulk items to specialty spices.
Distributing partners that we're working with in state, mainly up in Kent and actually down in Vancouver and Mukilteo, they're spread out throughout the state. We're using those distributors to bring in products. A lot of them have exclusive rights with different brands and stuff that most Indian customers know very well.
Most people have a sweet tooth, and to support that craving, there's a fresh pastry selection that includes a series of sweets and snacks, homemade and sold under Bombay Bazaar's signature label.
And we feel like producing certain well-known snacks and savory and sweet items in-house enables us to provide a fresher product to the customer.
Ziggy says customer diversification is a valued resource in his business. He's finding that he's introducing many Tacoma residents to the tastes of Indian cuisine.
The reason we chose 6th Ave was because it's so diverse. You've got so many different restaurants on 6th Ave, bars on 6th Ave. You got a college close by, so it's a very diverse community, and they're not afraid to try new things.
The grocery store opened in midsummer and already attracts customers from the region's universities and medical centers who yearn for the foods they grew up with in India.
We chose the South Sound was because of the large Indian community moving down to the South Sound, because mainly it's more affordable. So we are getting that customer coming in, but then we also want to diversify our customer base. Is really big for us, and that's why we chose Tacoma.
Try it, is Ziggy's philosophy, on some of the new spices, flavors, and foods available at Bombay Bazaar. He figures a sampling helps customers find delicious foods they wouldn't normally try at other grocery stores.
So we've already had customers coming in that have never tried Indian food before, and so we do sampling, and we'll let them try the snacks and give them ideas on what to use the spices and how to cook the meals.
Bombay Bazaar is just one of the family's local businesses. Ziggy's sister runs a Subway shop right next door to his store.
We're really small. It's mainly just family-based at the moment. Hopefully one day we grow out of this space and we can move into a bigger space and we can do many more products and cover the whole Asian community.
Ziggy realizes keeping customers happy involves both bringing in requested products and keeping popular staples in stock.
We're starting off small, and we're going to see how we do, what the feedback is, what customers are asking for, what kind of customer we're attracting, and what people are requesting, and then we can bring in products to suit them.
As a family business, the day-to-day operations and support, as well as future success, are all based on a plan Ziggy hopes will pay off.
But at the moment, we are small, we are family run, but hopefully, you know, fingers crossed, we get there one day.
In the immediate future, Ziggy plans on offering fresh produce.
We are at the moment looking at bringing in fresh produce because the community has asked for it.
He's also planning on establishing a menu of cooking classes with the focus on a cornucopia of Asian foods available in his store.
Because a lot of people have come in and asked, you know, how do you cook this dish, or, you know, how can I make this dish? And so that's hopefully down the line, we hope to do that and then eventually expand into other Asian foods.
As for why he chose Tacoma 6th Avenue as the location for Bombay Bazaar, Ziggy says he enjoys the benefits and opportunities made possible through strong relationships with his neighbor businesses.
You know, I've always been a big fan of what Tacoma's doing. Very diverse, great restaurants. So people are coming out here and trying different flavors. That's kind of what we want to play into. That's why I wanted to be in Tacoma and 6th Ave mainly because of that diversity. And there's a lot of foot traffic and there's a lot of people out and about. People are coming in off the street, you know, wanting to know what is Bombay Bazaar.
That's it for Business Matters. Join me next time for more insight into the Tacoma business scene. See you then.